I'm Margaret in Windsor, and it's about 6:45 here on Monday morning after Thanksgiving. And I'm putting this up to the people who watch and who care about what's going on and happening to me. And thank you for Eileen yesterday for what you said. No, I'm not all right. Bad shape. I've moved from room to room, and it's just gotten worse here. If that's possible, and I guess it is. Pretty much taken out. Chest. I mean, it's horrible. My hearing, my immune system's so low it can't fight off anything. So there's no need in trying to move again. First of all, it's hard to move my stuff, but then I'm just moving like I have over the past 6.5 years. Well, much longer than that since I've been here. And half the time I've paid for a month till I got smart at the different places here, motels. And then HUD did the same thing, and they're federal. So this is a federal government that's orchestrating what's happening to me. I got that letter from the FBI in '79, ongoing investigation, national security involved. And the national security involved is what they're doing to me. But should they tell who I am and my father what they did to him? And ended up making way for the global government, the Illuminati. That's who controls this government. Has for a long time, the Freemasons, Mafia. So anyway, I better quit while I'm halfway ahead, because I know when things have... Well, let's put it this way. A couple of years ago, I would have gotten up and tried to get up on the mountain, as cold as it is, but at least I could try to breathe. And come spring, why, but that's not an option anymore. So, I don't know what happens. I hope I don't lose my things I've put together that some people will put together. Some people off of YouTube are gifted me a few things, and that I certainly haven't had in a long time, some clothing. And anyway, I find out that this is all I'm going to say, nothing else. I've got it bad, rough, people click. And it's no different here where I'm at. Believe me. This is a pullover. I've got two. There's one that's another one I got some time back that's... anyway, I'll just show you this one. Now, there is another darker shade that came with it. When it came in the package, the two of them, and it had a couple of pair of pretty. They were pullovers, pants, and I thought they were so pretty. Well, I put away the other darker shirt like this one, pullover shirt, and it's still packaged in there. The thing is, I put the pants, the pair of pants that came. There was a set of two each, so that's another whole pair of pants and shirt. I know where I put it, in the suitcase over there, and it ain't there. I went through the stuff yesterday, and that's all I'm going to say. I know that there was, and I may be, no, I'm not. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I don't know what else is in there or not in there, because some things were given to me last Christmas. Relative got in touch with me, and this only thing I got and have for a long time, she sent. But I'm not sure now what's still in there, to have the goodwill that I have had, I still have. I find myself tearing up when I see some things go wrong, especially little kids. Anyway, I'm not going to say anything else. I can't accuse anybody. I will put this up. There was something, and I may be wrong, but they're going to resend it to me. and reship it. But it was shipped here. It was a split package, and I got the one item, the humidifier, but the other item I didn't get. And I saw what happened up there later when I found out that I may be made out a liar, but the people that shipped it said it was shipped here along with the vapor humidifier, and I should have gotten it. So I'm just going to leave it there. You can follow me, okay? So I really don't know. I know that for my own health, if I could make it till Friday, I've got to get out of here. And I was listening to Coast last night because no way I could sleep. I was up trying to open doors. They're hard to slide open, and it's cold, but then the cold air, if it's fresh, feels pretty good right now in this room. I was listening to Coast, and they were interviewing Bob, I think his name's Bob Lazar, and he's been telling about Area 51 back when they were saying there wasn't Area 51. Well, now then, for a long time now, they've got an Area 51 in Australia. So ask yourself, what are they doing with a Area 51 in Australia? That's part of the British. They are British. And that's where Julian Assange is from, bless his soul, that was guilty of telling the truth. And the price he's paid for it. But back to Lazar. This is some time ago that he told about Area 51 and about what was hidden there. And I believe him. I totally do, because I grew up and worked near NASA, and I've been around people that were scientists that were at NASA in Huntsville, and a lot of things in between that I've been aware of. So I don't doubt the man at all. I wouldn't have to begin with had I heard him. I'm just like that. I don't see why not. What he was saying is true, and it is true as it's come to prove itself. But I was listening to him re-interviewed last night, and there's a movie coming out. He finally has a movie coming out about it. But he was so ostracized for telling the truth. People were calling him nuts. They were calling him traitors. How much was he getting paid to tell the lies and to tell all this? And I thought, my God, I was listening to some of the questions that had been asked him over the years. Really putting him into being the bad guy or crazy. And I thought, my God, some of these questions are like have been, when I tried to tell it in the past, posed to me. And it was really painful to sit and tell people, and then, I don't know, that's all I can say. Some people, they're a handful. I mean, if you're talking about a handful out of a whole bunch of people that did care, and they knew it was true, and so did the others. Now then, I felt this man last night, Bob Lazar. I listened to him and listened to the man that interviewed him. And I'm making a couple of statements here that I can't prove, but I believe the man that George Knapp, he's a part-time out of Las Vegas on the Coast to Coast program that fills in. And to me, he's one of the good ones, best ones they've had hosts, other than the Sarrett, I believe, out of Canada, has got to be the best. He is really good getting in the right people, subjects, and he knows how to interview them. He really, and Knapp does too, George Knapp. If I'm not mistaken, George Knapp is the one that years ago when I first got my email and my first phone, so this is a few years back. Well, I don't know, it hadn't been that long, because it was after 2012, maybe 2013. Yeah, I had the little pink phone back in 2012. Anyway, I contacted him by email, and I was getting George Norrie nothing, except I heard feedback that sound familiar to me on his program. It wasn't credited to me, so therefore, But this man, I think it was George Knapp, that'd been with the program for a long time as co-host out of Vegas. He hosts a program there. But anyway, he did email me back shortly, and he did want to talk to me further, and I'm not reading from it now, but he was interested and wanted to talk to me. Well, lo and behold, after I got the email, it wasn't long till he sent another email and said he was sorry. He was no longer interested in talking with me. And if that's not George Knapp, I apologize, George Knapp. I'm sure it is, though, because this man was Vegas and been on the program for a long time as co-host with Coast to Coast, Nori. Now then, they were talking about a book that was just on Coast to Coast, published or coming out soon, and they're talking to the author of it. He was talking about JFK, and he was going into the Warren Commission. He was going into who killed JFK and why. They were making a hero out of him all over again. They were talking about the Mafia. He was the Mafia. His father was Roosevelt, I'll say it again, the president, Franklin Delano, that somebody got in Warm Springs, Georgia. So there's times when at least there's a touch of justice done in this whole mess. They're the Illuminati that now controls the world. The whole Roosevelt bunch were a bunch of thugs. Eleanor had her ties, and there is a book, whether it's an autobiography or just a biography, about her. I saw the condensed version about 5 months ago, having run across a condensed version of it. I thought, my God, it's talking about Eleanor going back to the United Nations, connection to them, connection to Woodrow Wilson up here in Stanton, who I swear, he was president. In Stanton, Virginia, he became president, and the United Nations connected and all this. This is where Anastasia really died, was murdered up here in Charlottesville. Stanton's right next door. When I ran in a campaign to replace Congressman Larry McDonald, a doctor congressman I had written about in the book and tried to get published when Larry Flint was shot. And then 3 years later, the doctor's supposed to go down in the KAL from Anchorage, from in Alaska. Oh me. Anyway, it's early and I really have had a bad time. I've just put that up. I've got to, I don't know what, get out of here. Anyway, on that plane, Larry McDonald was supposed to be on it. My book wasn't published, and I was almost killed. April Fool Day of '80, letter from the FBI and all this. And it appeared, because he was supposed to, on that flight, that he went down and drowned with the 296 other passengers. They were en route from Alaska. I don't know why I can't come up with Juneau, Seoul, South Korea. And the problem was they took Richard Nixon, former president, off just before the flight started to leave. So he was on that flight too with Larry McDonald. So I bet you anything, they were both taken off. And that is not just me that thinks that. So where am I going with this? I was going with, I think I'll just stop now because I'm just too tired to put it up. But I hope and pray I get out of here and have a decent place to go where I can hang my clothes up for once and not lose them. So I'm so appreciative of the things that I have been able to put back together, that some people gave me some nice things. And I hate to see any one of them taken. And it's not funny to me. I will, if I'm able, I'll remember. This has gone on too long, and for somebody to stand right in front of me, it really hurts. It doesn't do any good to say anything. They just tell me I'm a liar, because it's a joke who I am, and they can do it to me, all right? So I better get off here. I'm beginning to ramble because I usually have no trouble sleeping because most of the fumes will knock me out. Quite frankly, last night was bad. I was up trying to open the door because it's scary. You know, it gets scary when things get that bad that you're afraid you're not gonna wake up or you can have brain damage. My God, look at the kids that deliberately inhale chemicals, and people would, uh, people they end up in the hospital or brain damage according to how long they do it. I have been force fed it, and that's exactly it. This is political, deliberately done in front of the world. And I did get some um, messages from some people in other parts of the world saying they knew what I was saying was true about the United Nations. It was the Illuminati that took down my father, Edward VIII, and 36, and my mom, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe Windsor from Madison, Wisconsin, a school teacher. In case anybody's just picking, this is their first video, I'm giving this again. And he never married Wallace Simpson, and it was character assassination. They had more than one imposter pretending to be my father. She was an American spy, Wallace Simpson. So the family, and I'm talking about, I still believe, I know there were family that were not as close as the brothers to my father, but I'm not going to sell some of the Windsor short. I think there's a few that were out there and still are trying to help me. But Elizabeth and some of them, I don't know. Oh, I know Elizabeth. I know her dad was rotten to the core, and so is she. She's a criminal. Treason was what was used last night on somebody at the highest level. That's her. That was her father, George VI, that the Mafia put in place, and now that reminded me. So let me go back if I can. They were talking about JFK and his assassination. Nobody has ever, and there's plenty of people know about me. Long time back. This is the reason they've covered it up. And my father, the imposter who my dad married my mom. Now then, you should have heard the same old crap. And nobody corrected this man, telling about his upcoming book and his investigation. My God, the fact that I'm doing a book in Atlanta, Georgia, living at Moonraker, Larry Flint's shot in Lawrenceville by a program shooter. I'm writing about mind control, and you can cure an illness or create it, or what they call the Manchurian candidate, program somebody to shoot and kill. Who do you think's doing all this? People that might be picking this up. It's your own government doing it. The Virginia Tech, etc. So anyway, they're making a hero out of JFK, that he was against the Mafia. He was the Mafia. He helped kill Marilyn Monroe. She was talking too much. There was some honest people up there that took him out for God's sake. For God's sake. They took this. You know, my father was accused of things he didn't do. JFK's father and JFK helped kidnap me and fly me in to Moulton, Alabama, to that hellhole. His son came up there. I've put this up on the trail here in Roanoke, and about, I don't remember, 94, 95, in that time. That can be proven, though, the time he came up. And he came up with his cousin,